Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Today we got a special video. I challenged Geaxubear, one of the very few female builders that reconstruct and restore diecast, to a build-off. Now, she's a fantastic builder, and I just wanted to challenge her just to see if she can stay on her toes. But please check out Geaxubear's build. I'll have a link in the comments section. But today we're going to restore, or actually we're going to customize, a Ford Ranchero 1965. And it's a pretty cool car. So we got some customizing to do here. We're going to do a wheel swap, and we're going to change the color and see what else we can do, and a custom paint job. Let's go ahead and continue. I've already drilled the car apart. Now this is a pretty cool little die cast, but there's definitely some things we're going to change here. The body's pretty cool. I like how the back end is all closed in. The gold color's not bad, but we're going to change it out. We got to get this stripped down. Now, here's the inside. That engine is, I don't know, it's cool looking, but the injectors and stuff like that are really weak. So I think we can upgrade that. We're definitely going to do a wheel swap on this bad boy, put some real riders on there, and that'll be really neat. And yeah, we need to get rid of these wheels. We just got to snip that little tab there, and these will come right out. And the windshield's in excellent shape because the car is pretty much brand new. So let's go ahead and pop the body in the paint stripper and move on. We're going to go ahead and pop the body in the citrus strip. And since we've got a color change in mind, we're going to do the inside and the outside of the car. Now, I normally try to have the screws inside the posts whenever I put it in the citrus strip. Now, this is something that happened to me, and I want to pass it on to you. I've put cars in the citrus strip and without the screws in there. And as soon as I put the screws in later on, after it was painted, it tended to leach out of the little post and made the paint start to peel off again. So that's why I try and keep that screw in there so it doesn't squeeze back out and ruin the paint job. Alright, like I say here, I want to get rid of the engine that's in place now. So I think what I'm going to have to do is grind that engine out, and we're going to have to widen the hole in the hood of the car in order to get this new engine in there. So we're going to have to file that out and put the new engine that I have in mind in place. Here's what I got in mind. I got this out of an M2, and we're going to fit this on top of where the existing engine is after we file that away. We got a little bit of work ahead of us, so let's go ahead and get started. We filed it away, made it nice and flat, and we put the M2 engine on top. Now that looks definitely a lot better and a lot more aggressive. And the color of the stacks on the engine is definitely going to go in line with the paint job I got in mind. I put it on there with a little bit of tester's glue, and I let that sit for a while. And again, like I said, I had to file this area away a little bit better in order for this engine to fit. This is something you're just going to have to play with and experiment with if you decide to do something along these lines. Now, I had that post in the way, so I could only go so far forward, so I had to put the engine more towards the back of the car. Let's move on. We're setting up here to do a wheel swap. Now, I found some really cool wheel riders that I want to put on here. Both of the wheel setups on this car are the same. What I mean by that is there's no big wheels in the back and smaller wheels in the front. We're going to shorten the axle here. We're going to cut off the little tip on the end that holds the wheel on. And then we're going to figure out how much axle we need to cut off and still have enough left over in order to squeeze the end of it so it stops the wheel from coming off and still roll. So if you look really close here, you get a rough idea, once you get it in the slot there, you get a rough idea of how much axle is left. So that's how much you're going to have to cut away, but make sure again that you leave a little bit on there because you're going to have to squeeze it with the fence pliers in order to retain the wheels on. Here's the fence pliers. I picked these up at Harbor Freight. They weren't that much money, but you can definitely buy these at Lowe's or Home Depot, but you're going to probably pay twice as much. We squeeze the end of the axles and we downsize the axles so the wheels will go on there really nice. Go ahead and test fit it to make sure that it fits underneath the body and that it will still roll. Those wheels look fantastic. They're going to go really good with this build. Sometimes if you're lucky, if you go into Walmart and like that, you may find cars that have real riders that you can pick up for like $5 and definitely have them to do a wheel swap. Look how nice that engine fits in there now and those wheels look. I'm really happy with the way this build is going. This is fantastic. Let's move on. Okay, here we're going to spray the truck down initially with some opaque light blue that I got from the Redline shop. Like I said, they've got a lot more paints than just the Spectre Flame colors, so you need to check these out. Go ahead and spray the inside of the vehicle and get your hard to reach areas first, like inside the fender wells, underneath the tailgate, underneath where the hood of the truck is. All the stuff that's going to show eventually when you put your vehicle back together. Put some light mist coats on because you want to build this up so you don't get the runs. Now this car, or this color again, is an opaque, which means, yeah, you could have put down some primer if you wanted to, but with this particular paint, it's not necessary. It'll cover up on its own and it'll build up a really nice layer. This is starting to look really nice. This is exactly where I wanted to go. All right, we let it set for about 5 minutes after we got the tack coats down. Now we're going to put a little bit of heavier coats on there in order to get that really nice shine that we want. I'm still not exactly sure with a few things that I want to do. I'm going to do some experiments here and see how they turn out. And hopefully this is something that you can do also. This is looking really good. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, we've let the paint sit for a little while. Now we're going to take some of this Createx paint and we're going to put it on top of this opaque blue. Now, the Createx paint is a water-based paint, so it's liable to bead up on you. This is probably something a little bit better suited to use some type of a lacquer or enamel that you want to dab this with. Get you a sponge or something with an uneven texture and go ahead and just dab it in place. Now this paint dries incredibly fast, so it will build up on top of itself. You don't want to mush it down because you're going to cover the whole thing with color, which is what we're not trying to do here. Very, very lightly. Now you can experiment with this on a piece of paper or a piece of poster board or something like that, just to get the idea down of how lightly you want to dab this and touch this up. And again, while I'm doing this, it's drying. But if you want to accelerate the drying time, you can use your airbrush at a distance and just point the air at there and it will dry up. Now again, this paint is water-based. You see how it's beading up a little bit? You just got to be patient with this and you can definitely make this work. I wanted to choose some colors that were going to be complement the color that I already had on. And I was going with this because it's something that's going to match the blue injector stacks in the engine and kind of get the blue theme going on here. And again, this is all at random. We're just having some fun with this to see where it goes. Plus we're giving, maybe giving you some new ideas, and hopefully you'll want to experiment yourself and try some of this stuff. This is starting to look really cool. All right, well, let's move on from this step and we'll go to the next one. Okay, we let this dry up for a bit. Now I've got some lighter blue that I'm putting on. And again, it's beating up because it's a water-based paint. You're just going to have to experiment with this to see where you want to go. Now, oil-based paints or urethanes or enamels or something like that, that's going to be a little bit better for you when it comes to putting this on over the top of a lacquer or a urethane paint or something like that. But again, this is something that can work if you take your time and experiment with it. Sorry about the angle there. I keep realizing that I move the car out of the camera, so then I slide it back. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm really excited to see Geaxubear's build. Like I said, get a chance, go to her YouTube page and check out her builds. She's only got a few videos out there at the moment, but she's making more and more as we speak. And she was really excited to participate in this build-off. And I've been admiring her channel, and she does some fantastic work. So do yourself a favor and check out her page, and she's going to be putting out a lot more stuff, and it will give you more content to view, which is really cool. Let's move on. Okay, now the back end, I've got this taped off, and we're going to use the black vinyl paint from the Redline shop. I want that back end to look like it's got a stretched over tonneau cover. So put a little bit on there, let it dry a bit, and it'll turn out nice. Here's what we started with. This 1965 Ford Ranchero kind of looks like a Ford Falcon in the front end. But the engine is really small in the front with the injectors and everything. It's a really good base to start with. And you can get these, this is a mainline car, folks. You can get these all day long at Walmart's and at Target's and any other place, or anybody that sells these cars on Facebook. Check it out, please. And this is what we got to. Man, was this a lot of fun. What a wild paint job. That beautiful engine in there now. The Real Rider tires on the front and the back. We detailed up the tail lights and the headlights and the signal lights in the front. Man, was this a fun build. And I'm looking forward to doing some more build-offs with some of the other YouTube channel guys. Guys, reach out to me. If you want to do a build-off, hey, the challenge, I've thrown the gauntlet down. Put it out there. Let's have some fun. And let's show everybody else on YouTube what you can do. This is a lot of fun for me, and I know it's a lot of fun for you, but it's a lot more fun if people are watching and participating in your videos. Man, was this great. Now I've got a Patreon page, and my team members on Patreon, they help keep this channel going. These builds take a lot of supplies, guys, and I really sure could use your help. I got a bunch of different levels that you can donate to, and in return, I'll make sure that you get to see some of these videos ahead of time before they're released to the public. We do a drawing once a month for some free stuff. And if you're doing your own hobby and you got questions, you can do a one-on-one with me. And if you wish, we can also do a video conference and do like a FaceTime telephone call or something like that, to where we can talk back and forth while you do your stuff and I can answer your questions for you. My hearse drivers, Jim Silva, Stacy Wright, Daryl Begtel, Ronald Raby, Richard at Michio Woods Garage, Steve Terrence, and Tony Hughes over in the UK. Gravediggers, Aaron Murphy, Ed Ostrander, Andrew Hitchens, Bob DeNice, Les Jenkins, Wade Hendricks, Trevor DeViz, Grizz Flowers. Check out Bearcat Designs on Facebook. Chris Decker, Sheriff Jeremy Chipchase, and Jonathan Hicks and his son watching over there in Oklahoma. We've got Jake Rademacher and Sam Pascal in the Mortician level. Gentlemen, thank you so much. In the Grim Reaper level, William Robinson, Mr. K7, and Dale Johnson up in New York City. God bless you, gentlemen, and thank you so much for your time and your patronage and your generosity. I can't thank you enough, and I'm very humble. This is Paul at Diecast Graveyard. I'm hoping you folks are staying healthy, you and your families. Thanks for watching my videos. Please like, share, and subscribe, and check out my Patreon link that I'll have in the comments section. I'm going to try and keep knocking out videos here for your pleasure. Have a great day and stay healthy.